Hello, my Chunsters. My name is Glen Chun, and it's time to have some fun with Wrestlecast episode 12. Now, I've got a bit of an omission for you today. I haven't actually got a jam-packed show. I also haven't got anybody nailed down as a guest. So you've got just me trying to carry the show as best I can, which I will attempt to do because I have decided to line up some awesome topics like WrestleMania review, the Raw After review, plugs, a bit of a vlog, I guess. Why not? Hey, yeah, why not? Let's vlog. You know, why not do that? Today's been thrown together on a bit of a slapdash. I've had a load of technical difficulties, as you can tell from the camera being flickery, ultra zoomed in, and I don't know why, and there's nothing I can do about it. I've tried. Trust me, I have. Why do you think the podcast's late starting today? It won't do it. And plus the Hangouts app is playing around. It won't load certain things. So I can't do my bottom third, for instance. I can't do comment tracking. This is going to be a bit of a weird show, I think. This is going to be one that doesn't go to plan. So I've basically decided, you know what? Screw the plan. There is no plan. Let's just go completely unplanned, and then everything that happens, it didn't go wrong, at least. And that's the logic. I hope it works. I hope it works. Anyway, so I think let's start with some vlog, shall we? Let's start with some vlog, because I've got a few things that I've recently wanted to get off my chest a little bit. Because, first of all, I've wanted to say for quite some time, so I don't think I say it enough. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has supported Wrestlecast over the time that I've been doing it now. What was it? Well, 12 episodes, about 12 so weeks. I just want to thank everybody who's watched it, everybody who's liked, everybody who's subscribed for it, everybody who has dropped comments, everybody who's left questions for my guests. It means a huge amount that you guys take the time out to watch the show. It really does. It means so much to me. It really does. That actually, here I am, and I'm doing something that's actually kind of good for the wrestling area in which I live, and that you guys have liked it and you guys have enjoyed it. Like, I've heard positive feedback about certain episodes now. For instance, a lot of people quite like the Jason King episode. A lot of people, the episode that I get most love from is the UK Dominate episode. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But I haven't, apart from like a few issues, like sometimes the episodes go on a bit. Apart from that, there haven't been a huge number of negatives. Obviously, I need to sort out this background and see if I can do something. But I have ideas. I have plans. It's just doing them. It's just getting money to spare to do something about it. That's the thing. I have got plans to try and make this show better. I have got ideas and guests I want to have on. Hopefully I will have them on soon. I unfortunately couldn't nail them down for today. I had some leads, but I failed to chase them up. But I mean, I wanted to just say thank you for all of the support for the podcast, because it's been really good, and it's been a lot of fun for me to do it, to start off with. But it's also been nice to know that what's been a little personal project has actually been quite nicely received. So that's cool. It's always cool to know that people like what you do. It's humbling. And you're going to have to forgive me. I've also got a bit of a cold, which is why I'll be a bit sniffly. Yeah, another part of the thing that didn't go quite to plan today. But yeah, and it's awesome. So for the rest of the show, we're now going to talk about WrestleMania. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to do some plugs. I'm going to start with a plug because why not? I feel like since I was there yesterday doing some training, it'd be a good idea to plug CPW and the CPW Boot Camp, because CPW Boot Camp is awesome, and it's a great opportunity for you to go down there, learn some of the key basics of wrestling, like to learn the bricks and mortar of what it is to be a wrestler. Boot camp is brilliant for this, and Yesterday, we were joined by DWA's PJ Jones and the Dancing Daddy Bainsley. And of course, I think a fair few people are probably like, oh my God, you just did it wrong. And what I meant by that is the winner, PJ Jones and the Dancing Daddy Bainsley. I'm sure people were probably like, wait a minute, he didn't say winner. I was like, yeah, that's what I meant. They came down and they went through things and broke everything down. And you were not allowed to walk away until you did it right. Such valuable training, and it was awesome. So I feel like I should probably plug the next CPW boot camp with PJ Jones, the winner, and Dancing Daddy Bainsley, because it was a great experience yesterday. So that's happening the 23rd of this month. Oh, yes, 23rd of this month, which is, what is it now? April? Yeah, April. Crikey, this year is going quick. Yeah, it's the 23rd of April. I believe it's £30. Could be more. No, I think it's £30. And it's at 10 a.m. at the Penrice Academy in St. Austell, which is also where CPW run their shows. And whilst we're talking about CPW and the shows, CPW have a show coming up on May the 14th, which is going to be awesome because it's got all sorts of things on it. Like, let's see what I can rattle off from the top of my head. First of all, I know there's a fatal four-way match. Now let's see if I can remember all the participants. Okay, so I believe you have. Okay, this is going from the top of my head. My guest last week, the professional Josh Knott. You have long-time hater of the show, Cornwall, Johnny Cowling, basically anything that isn't him, Jason King. Also the record defending LEP Academy champion. You also will be seeing, I think it's Maximo Jr. Don't quote me on that. That's the one I'm not sure about. I believe it to be Maximo. And they are joined by Vincent Mad Dog Andrews of the Firm. And if I'm not mistaken, the winner of this match gets a CPW trophy title shot down the line. I believe. I think that's a stipulation. I'm going off the top of my head here. And then you also have, what else is there? Yeah, for the CPW Trophy Championship, it's the Dancing Daddy Bainsley versus the Ultimate Rule Breaker and everybody's favourite episode, the UK Dominator, who will no doubt be exercising those 3 rules which you heard about on the show. What else is there off the top of my head? Going off the top of my head here, so if I forget something, I'm sorry. What else do we have? Oh, yes, we have a next-gen Battle Royal, which will be featuring stars of LEP and the CPW boot camps. They're all going to go in there for a rumble, and prestige and bragging rights are on the line. So far, they have announced a few contestants. Now, let's see if I can find them. So I don't forget, I do want to sort of do at least this bit right. So the current named contestants are the rookie, Jamie Pearn, the ultimate JP, Jamie Pearn. You have Adam Flint, the man who cannot be bothered to come on the show. You have AJ Air. You also have a man called El Diablo Loco, and this is the first time I've actually heard about El Diablo Loco since he got speared through a table by Adira at LEP 6. And also from Russia itself, Dmitry Ivanov will be making his Cornish pro wrestling debut. Also, oh, hello, this is a new announcement, representing the Cornish Mafia and standing in at 6'6", ladies and gentlemen, you cannot teach that, the Wrecking Machine, John Rakes. That's shaping up to be pretty devastating. That's actually shaping up to be a pretty interesting, chaotic match. So I think you'll have to see that. And I also have the main event that I can announce for you off the top of my head. And this one's a good one because you have Dirty Dick Riley of the Magnums facing off against the villain, Marty Scurll. Now, Marty Scurll is one of the top wrestlers in the UK scene. Like, literally, there are very few British wrestlers wrestling today more famous than the villain Marty Scurll. So that's huge. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. I really am. Oh, yeah, I just remembered. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not sure about that one, so I'm not going to announce that one in case I'm wrong. But yeah, CPW, May 14th is shaping up to be an awesome show. Half the tickets have been sold already, so if you want to go and see that show, you're going to have to go and book them now. Otherwise, you might just miss it. And trust me, you don't want to miss it because you don't want to miss it. Trust me, you don't. I'm going to drink a protein shake. That's how much I don't want to miss it. There you go. If I drink a protein shake over the show, you know for a fact it's worth seeing. Yeah. I'm going to take that as a unit of measurement. That's a gospel. That is a way to decide whether a show's worth seeing. Did I drink a protein shake or didn't I? So there you go. Right, so let's talk about what the show's meant to be about today. Let's talk about WrestleMania and the Raw review. Now, because I don't want to forget anything, I have re-brought up the card so I can sort of go back. So the pre-show happened, and in fairness, the pre-show was fairly standard fare. There's nothing really that happened a huge amount from the pre-show that made me go like, oh my god, WrestleMania! You know, in fairness, half the matches on this, the matches on this pre-show, if it were any other pay-per-view other than WrestleMania, probably would have been on the pay-per-view themselves. Like if this were a Fastlane, these matches probably would have been on the main Fastlane show. They weren't bad matches. They just weren't. I don't know. They weren't quite WrestleMania. I don't think the one that got closest in terms of the WrestleMania moments. There are a few like pretty interesting moments from the Kalisto and Ryback match, where you had some high flying stuff and some powerful stuff. Obviously, it was some pretty impressive clashes of styles happening there. But yeah, I mean the pre-show it is what it is really. Obviously, I mean I predicted every single match from the pre-show correctly, by the way. Wait, no, I didn't. I got the Dudleys wrong. Actually, I think I said the Dudleys were going to win, and I think it was the Usos in the end. But yeah, pre-show was fairly standard fare. Nothing much to shout home about. The only thing I remember really from it was being interested in seeing Lana's in-ring debut, because I was like, well, can she wrestle? Yeah, we don't know. We have never actually seen her in the ring, so who knows? And she was in the match, and I've got to say, her ring gear, yeah, spot on. By far, you know, probably stole the show in terms of costumes of the night. And actually, she wasn't too bad in the ring, I don't think. Limited involvement in the match, wasn't the huge amount that she did, but the little that she did do, her kicks looked pretty good. You know, and already she's better than Eva Marie. So that's impressive. In one match, she's already better than Eva Marie has been in 2 years. So there you go. Obviously, Eva Marie got booed out of the building. People just seem to reject Eva Marie, and I don't think the WWE is going to be able to get Eva Marie sort of... I don't think WWE are going to be able to convince the fans that she's a good person, that there's somebody that they're going to want to watch. I just don't see it happening. It's been going for 2 years now. She's done 2 years of training with the Brian Kendrick. She's been at NXT, and people still don't want to see her. And I don't blame her. Don't blame them. I mean, it's just, girl can't really wrestle. She hasn't got any talent for it, I don't think. Let's just be honest. Some people can do things, and some people can't do others. Okay? Eva Marie's one of those people who just can't wrestle. You know? So... yeah, pre-show, it happened. It was fine. Now, for the actual Mania itself, I've heard a lot of people, like, slating WrestleMania this year. I've heard a lot of people going, oh, this is a crap WrestleMania. And I don't really agree. I don't think it was a crap WrestleMania. There's quite a lot there that I liked, if I'm not lying to you. There's quite a lot of moments that I was like, oh, yeah. There were some meh moments, but I was like, you know what, on the whole, as a WrestleMania, I enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed last year's. Let's put it that way. For one thing, I'm glad that it wasn't done in broad daylight, because for some reason, wrestling doesn't feel the same done in broad daylight. It just, you know, when you see The Undertaker enter in broad daylight, it kind of ruins that entrance. Same with Bray Wyatt. Like, because he can't see all the fireflies and the torch. It's like, why would you bother with the torch in broad daylight? So last year's WrestleMania didn't really work for me, but this year's I think was better. Now these matches aren't actually listed in the order they happened. This match I was quite surprised to see like as far up the card as it was, and it was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Yeah, some interesting moments from this match. Overall, I would say it was quite a good one, actually, because it was the most unexpected match of the card. It was the one that I was surprised Big Show got eliminated as early as he did. I thought they'd like keep him around longer, sort of build up, are they going to do the double thing to build up that kind of anticipation, but they didn't. So that kind of surprised me. But Kane sort of went on a bit of a rampage. I was like, okay, are they going to go with Kane? A lot of people speculated it'd be Mark Henry that wins it this year, because apparently a lot of people were thinking they'd give him one last thing before he retires, because apparently he's rumored to be retiring this year pretty soon. So, and not like the whole I retire and then I attack John Cena retire. No, actually retire. So, yeah, I think I was a little bit surprised they didn't sort of play that out a bit more. But I did not. The thing is, I did not see Baron Corbin winning it, and he did. Oh yeah, I should have said WrestleMania spoilers, by the way, but never mind. It doesn't matter. If you were going to watch WrestleMania, you probably would have done by now. So yeah, Baron Corbin won the whole thing, and I did not see that one coming. I was just like, "Whoa, Baron Corbin!" I was like, well, "That's a big push right off the bat." You know what? I'm down with that. You know, I quite like that. I quite liked that, actually. I mean, I don't hate Baron Corbin. I really don't. I think he's got some presence there, and I think his moves like the Deep Six and End of Days are actually very impressive. And I sort of like look at them and I'm like, oh, he must be quite difficult to do. They don't look like easy moves to do. Maybe it'd be different if you're actually doing them, but I don't know. They just don't look easy. They look quite fancy to me. So, you know what? Baron Corbin's okay with me. Plus, I find his entrance theme quite catchy. Yeah, hell of a reason to support a wrestler. I like his entrance music. But no, I was down with that. It surprised me. So, you know, I was happy. I quite like being surprised every once in a while. So, yeah, the Andre the Memorial Battle Royal, should I give it a match rating? Does it really matter if I do a match rating? Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2.5 stars. Why not? Quite like the result. I mean, it was a battle royal, so it's never going to be match of the night. It's just a brawl. But yeah, as far as battle royals go, it was a good battle royal, and I like a good battle royal. You know what? I'm going to be kinder. I'm going to say 3 stars because the ending surprised me, and I like that. The next match listed here on this match card was the ladder match, and this match I loved. I think this was. Did this kick it off? Yeah, it did. I think it did. I think this one kicked the whole show off. And my God, it was crazy. I mean, there's a few guys here that got some quite good pops. Like Monsieur Sami Zayn. He got quite a good cheer. And I mean, the ovation for Kevin Owens was immense. That made me very happy. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn broke out their famous backdrop into the ladder move that you've seen them do in PWG, seen them do it in Ring of Honor. It was good to see them do it again here. It's a classic that'll never die. It's like rewatching Citizen Kane. You know, it'll never get boring. You know, so I love this ladder match. I liked Stardust's little tribute to Dusty Rhodes with the polka dot ladder. I like that stuff. I like the whole tease. Are we going to go with the Miz thing? I thought that's quite a good tease. Yeah, I mean, overall, I like this ladder match. It had good WrestleMania moments in it. It had some, you know, moments that were definitely WrestleMania worthy. I thought the crowd reaction to this match was good. Some really good spots and some moments that made you just go, oh God. But ultimately, an unexpected winner who has forced Jason King to run a 26-mile marathon. Yes, Jason King is going to be running a marathon because this man won, Zack Ryder. And I was just like, I heard Zack Ryder was a replacement for Adrian Neville, so I was like, well, he's just there to keep the numbers up. No, he actually went and won the thing. I was like, whoa, really? And he did. So I was like, you know what, that's cool. I like this ladder match. I was entertained by it. I'm going to say 4 stars. It probably wasn't the most spectacular ladder match we've ever seen in WrestleMania history. But you know what? It was a really good one. And crowd was good for it. The result, again, unexpected, which is always a bonus for me. I don't like it when the uber obvious happens. And I thought the uber obvious result was to have Sami Zayn. So I kind of like it when they do something which you don't expect on a few of the matches, just to keep you guessing. And I definitely didn't guess on Zack Ryder. So yeah, I'm going to say 4 stars for this match. I liked it. Good match, good WrestleMania match. Next match listed here is a handicap match, the New Day versus the League of Nations. So New Day had their whole Booty-O serial entrance, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, you know what, that's good. That's really cool. I heard they're going to be entering on like big inflatable flying unicorns. I was like, I bet Health and Safety must have kiboshed that, and they went with a big thing of Booty-O cereal, which I thought was awesome. I still thought it was awesome. I'm still glad the New Day got their own entrance. And then there was the League of Nations, and people. I don't think people care about the League of Nations. This match in general was quite solid. I thought it was a pretty good match. Had some very good spots. I mean, it wasn't anything special. There's no sort of stipulations for this match at all. It's just 7 guys beating each other up. Although there was one horror dive when Big E went for a double spear to the League of Nations outside the ring. And he looked like he landed on his neck. And I was like, oh shit. It's one of those moments that's like, and you watch that and you're just like, and and if you've done wrestling training as well, it'll make you wince even more. But you don't have to have known what it feels like to be a wrestler to go, oh, Jesus, at that moment. It's like very lucky not to have his neck broken. I mean, it's a solid match, nothing special, nothing fancy. League of Nations won, which, I mean, yeah, okay. I thought the New Day were going to win, to please the crowd, but that didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, the match was a solid match for a handicap 3-on-4 tag match. I'd say 2.5 stars. Yeah, that's what I think of that match. But the thing wasn't over there. League of Nations took the mic and basically said, "There's no 3 men that can challenge us." And now we at that moment were just like, "Oh God, what if?" Joined by Bullet Club for life. That didn't happen. But what did happen got us all off our seats. Out comes Shawn Michaels, and it's like, he's in his gear! He's in his gear! And then, of course, Mick Foley comes out. It's like, oh, shit. And then, we're like, okay, this is awesome. This is WrestleMania. And then they go down, whoop the League of Nations ass. Xavier Woods takes a stunner. I'm like, this is WrestleMania written all over it. 4.5 stars. That is vintage WrestleMania. And that's what I love about WrestleMania. You never know what's going to happen. That was a cool moment. I loved it. I just loved everything about that moment. That had me entertained and had me, as they say on the internet, marking out. Loved it. Brilliant. Vintage, 4.5 stars. Very happy. I mean, so far the pay-per-view's been quite solid, I think. Like I say, I didn't really hate any part of the show. Next match listed here is a triple threat match for the Divas Championship. And that was Charlotte defending against Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch got her spectacular entrance. Also had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. That happened, by the way. Nip slip, as they call it. But Becky Lynch got her entrance, which is always... Okay, now, the one thing that doesn't make sense to me, and I called this out whilst we were watching it, that doesn't make sense to me about Becky Lynch's entrance. It's always been a gripe for me. When she entrances and all that smoke comes out of the ramp, it's like, if you're watching that entrance live, surely you can't see her. It's like you've basically just covered up Becky Lynch for that paying crowd. It's like, surely just have the smoke come out the sort of the sides rather than the whole entrance ramp. Maybe that'd be a way to refine it or something. I don't know. Am I the only one that sort of just thinks if I've paid to go and see Raw live, I don't want to see the wrestler completely get engulfed by their pyro so that I can't see her? Maybe that's just me, but, it's something that always bugged me. And then Sasha Banks got her entrance with Snoop Dogg providing some rapping. Of course, they're cousins in real life, so yeah, that works. and the actual person who sung the song gave the live performance, which I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually realize that was the girl who sung her song at first. I don't think she nailed it. Well, she didn't nail it for me in the way that, say, Mark Crows and the Rails nailed Bray Wyatt's song when they did it live. I thought this was a bit of a letdown, actually. I was like, well, okay, it's special enough. And she came out wearing her sort of tribute to Eddie Guerrero gear, which I thought was a touch of class from the boss. Charlotte had a big Ric Flair-style robe. You know what? As far as the Divas match goes, I thought this one was really good. There are a load of big spots and moments in this match where you just wouldn't expect to see them on a Raw or anything like that. And as a Divas match goes, yeah, I'm going to say this one was quite solid. But it's become pretty obvious that Becky Lynch she doesn't take that bank statement very well. She just doesn't seem to take the bank statement very well at all. But yeah, no, I was quite happy with this match. I was entertained by this match. Yeah, like I say, there were WrestleMania moments involved. Charlotte won, which I genuinely thought they were going to go with Sasha. And I was a little bit surprised they didn't go with Sasha Banks, actually. I thought this was going to be the obvious moment to launch Sasha Banks as the clear leader of the Divas division. Because I think she is, if I'm not lying to you, I think she is probably the best diva that they've got at the moment in terms of just overall package, in terms of wrestling, look, charisma. You know, I think Sasha Banks is probably their best diva. At the well, they're not called divas anymore. That's the other revelation for WrestleMania. They're not called divas anymore. There's finally they've dropped that stupid name for the division, and it's just women's wrestlers now, and they're referred to as genuine normal superstars. Thank God. I'm glad they've got rid of that divas thing, because it just the word, look up diva. Diva's not really meant to be a positive thing. It's not. If you call somebody a diva, you're not being complimentary. So I'm glad they dropped that, and it's now the women's division. It feels more right, I think. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to say I like this match. I really did. What would I say? If I were to give it a star rating, I'm going to say 3 out of 5 stars. Wasn't perfect. You know what I do want to see though now that they've returned to being the women's division and they're going to refer to them as normal superstars, I want to see them in a few more stipulation matches. I'm not a Saints or anything, but something like a tables match, or bring back a hardcore match for the women's division. You know, just something more, just something to add a bit of spice every once in a while to the Divas matches. You know, to say that we actually care about this women's division. They're not just going to do standardized matches all the time, and that's it. So, I mean, I'd quite like to see that now. Like maybe at SummerSlam or something, have some kind of a hardcore Divas match. A women's match, or a steel cage for the women's. I don't think they've ever done a women's steel cage match. So you know what? Maybe it's time to make some sort of history in that regard. You know, because I'm pretty sure it make people care about the Divas division. Like when they're oh my God, my mind's gone completely blank on me. Bayley and Sasha Banks did the 13-minute Iron Woman match. That made history because that's a big stipulation match. So, you know, I'd like to see the Divas do that. Anyway, 3.5 stars, 3.5 stars out of 5. You know, I think it was a good match. Liked it. A very good match, and they didn't let themselves down. They showed themselves brilliant. Next up on this match card is Chris Jericho versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now, this match, I was like, oh, really? We're going to get to see this match again? I was like, well, at least they're going to put AJ over, because now this is going to like establish AJ going forward for the next 2 or 3 years, or however long he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there that long, but I think he's going to be there longer than Chris Jericho. It's like, okay, here we go. Finally put AJ Styles over once and for all, and here we go. That didn't happen. I was like, okay, that's the one thing I really didn't agree with this year's WrestleMania. I'm like, in fact, there's 2 things. I'm going to talk about the other one in a minute. I was like, you know what? As a fan, I'm not into this. I didn't think Chris Jericho winning was the best result that could have happened. I think it would have been better to have had AJ Styles win that one. Just be perfectly honest with you, hands up. I mean, I was a fan at the end of the day. I was like, really? Jericho? I was like, okay. I guess he is Y2J, but I mean, I was like, you're going to get more miles out of AJ these days, and AJ got the bigger pop of the night. I was like, but whatever. I mean, I might just be saying that because I practically hero worship AJ Styles, but it was a good match either way. Brought back the Styles Clash, which we'd heard been banned, but they're bringing it back now. I don't know, maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, I enjoyed watching the match. It was a good match. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to say 3.5 stars. It was a good solid match, but I think the ending was wrong. I don't think the right person won it. But that's just me. Whatever. I might be wrong. Chris Jericho might stick around on a near full-time basis from now on, but I might be wrong. You never know. Anyway, then you had Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. Now, this was one of the matches I was most interested in watching. I thought this was a match which had some potential for some serious WrestleMania moments. And I don't really remember anything from the match at all. The only thing I remember was the end, the F5 into the chairs. And that's it. I was like, I was expecting more from this match. I was expecting it to be unprecedented carnage. But it really wasn't. It was mostly just German suplexes and the F5 onto the chairs. It's like, this is WrestleMania. And you can't do anything more than that. I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I enjoy watching Brock Lesnar whoop somebody's ass. I was like, but this match didn't live up to my expectations. I thought there was going to be more. And I thought it was going to be bigger. I thought this match had like the most potential for WrestleMania moments. And it was one of the most forgettable matches of the card for me. But then again, that's probably just because of my expectations, and I think I don't know, maybe I was wrong to expect it. But you know what? I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I think it probably could have been and should have been, in theory, better than it was. Whatever. I mean, as far as Extreme Rules, the street fights go, I was like, this was one of the most tame street fights I've ever seen. And you've got Dean Ambrose, formerly John Moxley as CZW, and the Beast Incarnate, and they gave us that. I was like, whatever. I give the match 2.5 stars because I enjoy seeing Brock Lesnar whoop somebody. So yeah, that's I mean, if it weren't for Brock Lesnar, I probably wouldn't have rated it that. Let's just put it that way. The participants were more than the match in that one, to be honest. Now I'm trying to think if this happened before. Yeah, no, I think it did. So the Hell in a Cell match: Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, and if Shane wins, he gains control of WWE, and also if Taker loses, it's his last WrestleMania. Now this match lived up to the hype. It really did. This match had what we were all expecting to see, which was Shane McMahon do what Shane McMahon does and jump off a very tall object. This match had the moment of the night. For me, this match was the one that had the moment of the night. Shane McMahon jumping off the cell. I was like, holy Jesus. I was like, okay, this match was just good. This match was good around. Undertaker wins, which sort of surprised me, but sort of, I didn't really know which way this match was going to go. I genuinely didn't. I had no clue which way I was going to sort of predict this match to go. And yeah, you know what? I liked it. This match lived up to what I was hoping it was going to be. So I'm going to say, I can't give it 5 stars. I don't think. I'm going to give it 4.5. This match was exactly what I was hoping for. And it was awesome. And then we had a segment. The Rock came out, did his announcement, announced that they broke the record for WrestleMania. I was like, okay, The Rock, that's a waste of The Rock. I was like, not being funny. I was like, but we didn't get a huge amount of Rock there. And actually, Rock wasn't getting that many cheers, ironically. I don't remember the crowd reaction being that loud for him, actually. And I think a few people were like, really? That it? And then the Wyatts came out. And I was like, the Wyatts came out, they taunted The Rock, and I was like, oh my God, they're about to put the Wyatts over big time. About bloody time too. I was like, it's about bloody time too that they put Wyatt over. Rock put Wyatt over, actually, verbally. I was like, now it's time to make the Wyatts look good. And and Rock came back and then did get cheered because he ripped off all of his clothes and he was in his wrestling gear. And he had a 7-second match with Eric Rowan. And I was like, okay, that was wasted potential. I was like, but okay, at least we got to see The Rock in his wrestling gear in a match, sorta, rather than just... But it's basically just an attack. It's basically just like any old attack where The Rock bottoms somebody out of surprise. That's literally the match. You know, I was like, a bit of a cop-out. But okay, yeah, The Rock was in a match and he gets a win. Wyatts look like they're about to take their revenge. And I'm like, okay, now here we go. Now the Wyatts are going to take revenge. No, it's John Cena! Out he comes. And then we proceed to bury the Wyatts. Whatever WrestleMania moment for Cena and Rock, but I mean, now the Wyatts are completely dead and buried. And it's just like, how many times are you going to bury the Wyatts? There's only so many times Wyatt can kick out of this grave that you keep burying him in. I was like, Wyatt, here's my problem with this. Wyatt is one of the talents there that has the most potential to grip you and entertain you in terms of his charisma, in terms of his look, in terms of his actual ability to have wild, crazy matches that are pay-per-view quality. Wyatt, to me, is close to the complete package as far as what you want from a wrestler. And they keep burying it. They keep having him lose to people. It's like, how many times are you going to have this guy lose, and how many times are you going to continue to buy him threaten the end of the world? It's like Bray Wyatt is seriously losing his gravitas, which is a shame because I like Bray Wyatt and I think he's. But I mean, it's a WrestleMania moment. It was great to see The Rock in a match. It was great to see. Well, I was like, okay, yeah, Cena's there. You know, cool. And it's quite nice to see the Wyatts actually get something at WrestleMania. And the number of Fireflies was cool, and I always love seeing that entrance. So as far as WrestleMania moment goes, 3.5 stars. I mean, I was entertained, but I was a bit disappointed to see the Wyatts get buried. So yeah. And then you have the main event, which was Triple H defending his championship against Roman Reigns. Now, I saw the entrance, and Triple H's entrance was awesome. Thought it rambled on a bit. Steph rambled on a bit, but I was like, this is cool. And then Roman Reigns had a very standard entrance with some added pyro. I was like, okay. Well, that lacked wow. I was like, you're trying to make this guy seem like a massive deal, and all you can do is throw in a bit of pyro. Okay, fine. Why not? Now I have an admission to make. I fell asleep during this match. I guess that's so I can't rate this match. All I know is who won, and it was the most obvious, and it's the thing that everybody predicted because it was ridiculously obvious. I think this one let the show. I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about this match because I didn't watch it. I fell asleep, which might be just a sign of like maybe the match was just boring and that's why I fell asleep. I don't know. I must have fell asleep for a reason. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to rate this match. The overall rating I would give WrestleMania this year was a solid 3.5 stars. I like to see his WrestleMania. Not going to lie. I mean, obviously I didn't see the main event, and I couldn't really be bothered to go back and rewatch the main event. In fact, in terms of matches that I want to watch again, the main event isn't one of them. So, I mean, this is probably one of those WrestleManias that will appear on like what culture lists in the future. It's like WrestleManias with the wrong main event. I'm Adam from What Culture? And it'll probably be number 10, Triple H versus Roman Reigns. After Undertaker versus Shane McMahon, everybody's really hyped up and excited. And here comes main event. And oh my God, everybody saw it coming. It's like literally everybody became Nostradamus. Whatever. The main event is the main event. We all knew what was going to happen. We all knew they were going to launch Roman Reigns as their big guy. So, whatever. And I didn't think probably wasn't that good a match if I fell asleep during it. And then again, I had been up for something like 20 hours by that point. So, whatever. Yeah, but ultimately, I like to see his WrestleMania. I really did. Anyway. that's a lot of rambling about WWE. So before I ramble a bit more about some WWE, I'm going to talk about another show which is coming up, which will be. I'm trying to think now. Actually, which show am I going to plug? Which one do I want to plug? You know what? I'm going to plug PWA. Why not? I want to plug PWA because they have got a huge show coming up. And I'm about to tell you why, because it's awesome. It's got an incredible card. And I think they deserve a little bit of publicity on this one. They've had a big spike in sales, so if you want sales for this show, you're going to want to pre-order pretty goddamn soon. So let me take a look. Still plenty of standing seats. Balcony is filling up. So yeah, by the way, there's a balcony, and this is at Plymouth Town Hall. What is it called? Is it called the Town Hall? I literally cannot remember what this place is called now. I'm going to take a look at the pay-per-view. That's it, Plymouth Guildhall. That's what it's called. And this has just got an insane card. The card on this show is brilliant, and there's a lot of people. Where's the card? Where's the card? Come on, there must be a card here somewhere. Oh, you know what? Do I even need to announce the card? I don't. You know what? I don't even need to announce the matches. I mean, I'm going to sell this based on who's actually appearing on it. So, because that's literally all you have to do. So, you've got. I mean, I'll try and remember some of the matches if I can. The show, I think, costs £12, and you're not going to be surprised. This is the 7th anniversary of PWA, and they're going all out with this show because, yeah, the name, the star power is off the charts. So, in no particular order, you have Dave Mastiff, and big name in British wrestling. You have Justin the Hammer Sison, who is a physical specimen. He's awesome. You also have JD Knight, another great talent. You have Tyler Hawk, who is an explosive and very entertaining wrestler to watch. You have Lionheart, Eddie Ryan, and he's also another one of those, just such a good wrestler. You have two females on their card. You have Pollyanna and Ginny. They're going one-on-one. It's like Martin Kirby. It's going to be on the show. You've got, there's so much to go to watch this for. You've got Jason King. You've got Grayson Reeves from my two guys who've been on my podcast. They're going to be on this show. You've got the winner. PJ Jones is going to be on this one. Yeah, there's so many big names. And last but most certainly not least, you have El Ligero, a man voted as the best wrestler in Britain. He's been voted by multiple journalists as that. Then you have former NXT superstar Joel Redman, and one half of the first ever NXT Tag Team Champions alongside Adrian Neville, Joel Redman. Any card that has Joel Redman on it is instant good. And finally, the current TNA heavyweight champion, Drew Galloway, is defending his championship against Eddie Ryan that night. Tell me that's not a good card, because it is. It is a good card. And that's happening 17th of April, Plymouth Guildhall. Tickets are selling out super quick, so you're going to have to get yourself over to PWA on the Facebook to go and get your tickets for that one. It's going to be huge. It is going to be huge. It's so yeah, that one's probably well worth seeing. And now let's talk about Raw, because Raw was also pretty good. And then I think I'm going to call it a night because I'm rambling on and it's going on too long. Anyway, so Raw, yeah, good things that happened. Shane McMahon got in charge, so we got to see that anyway, which I think the fans were clamoring for. So that was kind of nice. We actually got to see Shane McMahon in charge of Raw. It was quite good. A few debuts happened. Apollo Crews had a very solid debut against Tyler Breeze. I enjoyed that match. I thought that was quite good. Official crowning of the women's champion and being presented with the new women's championship belt. Lita was involved in that segment, and all the divas were out. All the women were out there. It's going to take a little while for me to get out of the habit of calling them divas. And all the women were out there for that segment. And I thought it was a good, solid segment. I thought it was a good crowning of the new champion segment. Quite happy with it. Natalya emerged to challenge Charlotte, which surprised me because I thought they were going to have something to do with Bayley. I thought Bayley was going to come out or something like that and launch a challenge. But that didn't happen. In the end, it was Natalya, which surprised me. I didn't see that one coming. And you know what? Those two had a really good match at Roadblock. So you know what? I'm quite looking forward to seeing what those two can pull off. So there was that. And then you had... what else happened on this Raw? The big debut of the night, the one which the moment which I was like most happy about. Enzo and Cass debuted. Oh yes, and they ripped the Dudley Boys to pieces. Absolutely tore them a new one. Completely ripped into the Dudley Boys. And I was just like, oh my! What was it Enzo said? He's like, I was gonna see your lazy eye and put it back to work. It's like, oh jeez, it's like the killing of the Dudleys. Oh my god. And these two guys, these two guys got the cheer of the night, and it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Loved it. Absolutely loved that moment. And I mean, these two guys are going to be huge. These guys are going to be able to carry the tag team division on their shoulders. Hugely popular, hugely entertaining, good in the ring. These guys, I can see these guys going a long, long way, and their debut sort of proved it. The fans were, as we say, hot for that one, so that's good. I love that segment. Was what I was hoping to see from their debut. I was just happy with that. That was. I'm trying to think of now what else happened on Raw. Also, you had Roman Reigns come out and once again get booed out of the building. This is becoming a bit of a habit for the guy. Chris Jericho came out, challenging for the title. The phenomenal AJ Styles did the same thing. And finally, somebody attacked. Kevin Owens attacked. Yeah, and then Kevin Owens came out, and also he got a cheer. Kevin Owens always gets a cheer. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking at this point it might be a good idea to turn Kevin Owens babyface and see what he can do with that, because the crowd loves Kevin Owens. They just do. And I think trying to keep him as a bad guy just isn't working. It doesn't work to have bad guys getting cheered and good guys getting booed. It's just the wrong way round. So, I mean, Kevin Owens gets a cheer every Raw. So, just turning good guy, go full hog in it and see what happens. I reckon he'll sell them a lot of merch and make them a lot of money. But anyway, that set up a fatal four-way match later on in the show, which you're going to want to see. Now, did they announce? I can't remember if they announced the fourth participant of that match when they announced it. Oh yeah, that was it. They announced that. They had it announced when Shane McMahon sort of talked to Roman Reigns. Anyway, that set up the feud. Oh yeah, Baron Corbin was in action. Gave a good solid account of himself. I'm trying to think now. Mine's gone a bit blank on me actually. So you had anyway the moment that I was really excited about, again because I might be a bit of a mark and a bit of a fan. There are the signed gloves. It was the fatal four-way match, which featured Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, the phenomenal AJ Styles, and the return of the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. And oh my god, this match was awesome. This match was awesome. Just brilliance. Four of, I think, probably the better in-ring talents that they have in the card. Probably four of the best guys they have at the moment. Just put on a great match. it's the after Mania Raw, so you got to put on something good, right? And the winner of this match would face Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Not sure when, probably Payback. And because I've kind of got through the Raw bit quite early, I'll talk about a little bit about Payback. Anyway, the winner via Styles Clash was AJ Styles, if you can't tell from the reveal of the move. I was like, I thought they banned Styles Clash, but it turns out they haven't, and he won the match of it. I was like, and you know what, I'm excited. I'm like, you know what, AJ Styles for the Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, he lost at WrestleMania, and I don't believe it anymore, but yeah, why not? Let's do it. I love all things AJ Styles, so more AJ Styles, the happier I am. So it's nice to see AJ get pushed into that big time spot. So you never know. Is he going to beat Roman Reigns? Oh, of course he isn't. But it's going to be fun watching him fail, I guess. So there you go. As for an after WrestleMania Raw, had all the ridiculousness from the crowd that you were hoping for, and it was a good after Mania Raw. Really happy with it. And there's a lot of good things I'm looking forward to going forward, like the future of the women's division. Now that they're women and being known as superstars, you've got Enzo and Cass going forward. You've got Apollo Crews to look out for. AJ Styles in the main event. So much to look out for going forward now. And one small note on Payback: the official poster has been revealed, and the poster. Well, I don't know if it is an official poster or if it's just some sort of fan leak, but it's got a lot of people extremely excited, and the poster features a certain demon, Finn Balor. So it was like, what's going on here? How is this happening? So you know what? That's something to look forward to going forward. How is that going to happen, and how's that going to play out? And is this just some cruel Photoshop tease? You never know. I thought that was worth mentioning. Either way, it's got me excited. Like, you know what? If Finn Balor debuts on the main roster, I'll be happy. So yeah, I mean, this podcast has gone on for a bit. I wasn't expecting it to go on this long. Like I say, I planned nothing, and I couldn't get a guest nailed down. Sorry about that. I'm sorry if you weren't entertained by the show. I'm sorry. It wasn't just stuff didn't quite go as I planned. But if you have watched the show, thank you very much for watching. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show watching. It's always humbling. Always love it. Always love the continued support that you guys bring and give to the show. So yeah, a huge thank you for watching, and a huge thank you for supporting the past editions of Wrestlecast. Hopefully next week I'll have a guest for you again, but who knows? I might be at PWA. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to say why I'm not sure, but I might well be. So I don't know if there'll be a podcast next week or not. And hopefully, if there isn't, I do have a hopeful guest in mind, but it's dependent on a few things. But we'll find out. We'll find out closer to the day. For now, thank you very much for watching. Pleasure to have you. Take care. Safe travels, and keep watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. So goodbye and ta-ra.